Accurate Battle Simulator, and today it's going to be another What If battle. Last time we did What If the Romans fought against the Han Empire, aka ancient China. Now we're looking at what if the Persians fought the Han Dynasty. Honestly, I have no idea if they ever did. All I know is that Persia didn't really want China talking to Rome and vice versa, so it was a bit difficult for the two, for Rome and the Han Empire to actually talk to each other via land routes, because Persia just sort of stopped all that. So now we're looking at what if the Han Dynasty decided to go off and attack Persia. Now, of course, Persia liked using a lot of horse troops, horse archers, cataphracts, all those sorts of things, which I don't have access to in the unit creator, as I've gone over in previous Persian battles. So yeah, this is just sort of a dismounted Persian force versus the Han Dynasty. Same with the Han Dynasty, they also had a bunch of horsemen, but once again I can't do that, so this is again a strictly ground-based affair. So we've got on the one side here, we have got the Persians, who have got themselves set up with their Egyptian vassals, and then on this side we've got the Han Dynasty. So I'll quickly go over the Persians because we've seen them a couple of times before, and then I'll go over the Han Dynasty, which is relatively new to the channel. So on this flank, facing off against the Han crossbowmen, we have got just 12 Persian axemen who are hoping that their shields can withstand the mass volley of projectiles that are going to be coming at them. So yeah, there's just 12 of these guys. They've got sort of scale armor, they've got little headdresses, and of course their axe and shields. The main Persian force, which is right here, is a shield wall comprising of the front line of Persian axemen, followed by spearmen. So these guys have got their spears obviously pointing at the Han. We're ready to do some damage. So it's the one line of shields, followed by two solid rows of spearmen, and they're going to be hopefully poking at the Chinese as the two sides advance into each other. And then behind them we have got a whole load of Eastern archers, which are going to be the things that hopefully are going to be able to counteract the mass crossbows that the Han have got here. So yeah, Eastern archers are probably the best thing out of the Persian pack that I have available. So of course we've just got a whole load of them. Behind them we've got the Immortals. We've got a very small-headed immortal rather. So yeah, don't know how well he's going to do, but yeah, we've just got our Immortals here. I think there's 12 of them, yeah, because it's a 6x2 deep row of them. So yeah, we got 12 Immortals back behind the main Persian force, and then on the flank we have got a motley assortment of Egyptian allies and mercenary spear hoplites, followed by Egyptian archers right here. Honestly, no idea how well they're going to do. I'm honestly expecting them to not do well, but yeah, Egyptian spearmen, no idea how well you're going to do, my friends. But there we go. So securing that flank for the Persians, at least that's what they're hoping, are the Egyptians. The Han Empire. So since we're over with the Egyptians already, facing off against them, I've just got a whole load of Han swordsmen. These guys have got the jouster shields because they're the closest I could find to the Han shields that they had. They've also got Jian, which I believe are how you pronounce the sword that the Chinese used a lot of. So they've got their Jians, they've got their shields. They're your basic sword shield infantry. Behind them we have got 4 repeating crossbowmen and 1 shock trooper holding up the line at the back here. He's got the best armor, he's got it's all metal armor, he's got a great big sword, he's going to be dual wielding it, two-handing it rather, facing off against the Egyptians and mercenary hoplites, and of course the repeating crossbowmen. Don't know how well they're going to do, but maybe they'll do something for them. Honestly, I'm expecting this flank to fall to the Han Empire, but we'll just have to see how that goes. Facing off against the small clump of axemen are just a whole load of Han crossbowmen. 8 repeating crossbowmen, followed by 4 regular crossbowmen. Again, not too sure how well these guys are going to do. They might take out a couple of axemen, but once the Axemen get it in amongst them, they're going to really hope for some help from the main Han force, which is in the centre here. So when I had them facing off against the Romans, they were all using a shield wall with some spear infantry, these Han spearmen. And I've got them again on this flank, but for the main force, I'm actually using Han Dao infantry, which is what these great big vicious looking pole arms are. The Dao, they look very cool. They're actually pretty good infantry for this faction. The way that I've made them anyway. Yeah, Dao infantry, they're pretty good. So they're the ones behind the main shield wall for the front, and then on this flank, well, extending the line rather, you've got regular spear infantry, and then right at the end here you've got some more regular swordsmen. And the shield bearers are quite literally that, just shield bearers. The Hans seem to actually have shield bearers rather than sword and shield infantry, like these boys are. So yeah, it's going to be the clash of two shield walls, which should be pretty interesting. And then of course right behind them we've just got a whole load of crossbowmen. Because whilst I was building this faction, the Chinese faction, they have at the inventory list that's like on Wikipedia, there was over 500,000 crossbows in their inventory. The Han really loved crossbows, so they would have a whole load of crossbowed men on hand at any point. So that's why there's so many crossbows all over here. So yeah, crossbowmen here, and then for their elite units we've got these Han shock troopers, which are, you know, the dual-wielding, not dual-wielding, two-handed swordsmen with their strong metal armor and all that. So they're going to be the ones taking the fight to the Persians here. So yeah, no idea how well this battle is. They blocked off a couple of them, but in come the repeating crossbows, and they really do not stand a chance here. They're blocking some of them, but oh, that's a lot of axemen. That is a lot of axemen who have just gone down there. The main force here, very nice, colliding straight away. Obviously didn't take too long. In go the Immortals, charging right through the main, right through the Eastern Archer block. Over here the swordsmen are fighting the Egyptians. Oof, those Egyptian archers though are definitely putting in some work after the repeating crossbows have expended their entire magazine. We've got a single brave mercenary hoplite here going straight at them, and honestly, yeah, he's probably going to do some work. In go the shock troops, blasting through the main crossbow front. Oh, down goes two Dao infantry, just went down right there. Got the Axemen getting stuck in. The Axemen are a pretty good unit for the Persians. Oh, that's unfortunate. The Dao man there just hit his own shield bearer. There's actually quite a few Han infantry have actually gone down. That's not all too good. The swordsmen are not doing well against the spear infantry, which is no big surprise really. It's just a bit of a mess really, but there's a lot of Persian troops actually still up. I don't know where all of the Chinese troops have gone on this flank. Over here it looks like the swordsmen are actually getting overwhelmed quite considerably by the Egyptians and their mercenaries, which yeah, I was not expecting. What I was expecting though is this mercenary hoplite to just be blasting straight through the crossbowmen, and yet down goes one of them. Over here the shock troops are trying to get involved. We got a swordman making a push, trying to get through the Persian lines, or at least trying to make a dent through the spear infantry, but there's quite a few Persians actually left up. Obviously these Eastern archers are going to be doing their thing. In goes an Immortal, tangling with one of the spear infantry as the shock troops are getting involved as well. The crossbowmen, yeah, the crossbowmen backed away, which I think the axemen that charged at them decided to go for the main force instead. One of the shock troops is dead, but another shock trooper did just manage to, oh my god, he is dodging missile fire everywhere from his own crossbowmen. But yeah, he managed to take down one of the axemen there. In charges another axeman. Unfortunately misses, but the mass amount of spears did it for him instead. It's just the crossbowmen left really, and on this flank the Egyptians have cleaned up all of the sword infantry. This is a big surprise for me. Yeah, the Immortals dodging out of the way. Oh, unfortunately not that one though. He just died to a crossbow bolt. They are all dodging crossbow bolts left, right and centre. I honestly do not think that the crossbowmen are going to have any hope, though, in really stopping the Persian tide, though. Oh, they managed to save that guy, though, taking out an immortal. Oh, that guy shot his crossbow, but it was blocked by an axeman, as in comes another immortal. In go the Eastern Archers. Oh, that guy just got headshot. Eastern Archers are definitely better than crossbows in this regard. They just fire a lot quicker. Crossbows are, of course, backing away as in come the Egyptian archers. It is pretty much a foregone conclusion here. It's just how quickly the Persians can clean up all the remaining Chinese troops. Down goes another crossbowman. There goes another one. These Eastern Archers are managing to arc their arrows very nicely, actually, over the oncoming Persian force. They're taking out some of the repeating crossbowmen, or at least attempting to. I mean, they have managed to take out one or two. We've got an axeman here who's actually charged in. Dodged probably basically all of the crossbows. Oh, the repeating crossbows are actually coming back, though. At least they're starting to reload along with the regular crossbows. But in comes... Oh, down goes one of the crossbows. He manages to block that one, but can the repeating crossbows take him out? Yes, they can. Very good. Oh, down goes two of them, though, to Eastern Arch. And unsurprisingly, over here, yeah, there's arrows going everywhere from the repeating crossbows, and they are doing a bit of damage there. Oh, down goes one of the spearmen. As in goes some more repeating crossbow bolts. Over arcs some more. Yeah, in goes another Eastern Archer. Shot nice straight centre of mass. And down goes another spearman. But yeah, they're really not going to last for too much longer here, as they're all dying to various Egyptian and Eastern Archer shots. But yeah, down goes another spearman. Yeah, they've really lost this quite quickly, which, yeah, I'm not too sure why. But let's speed this up. Let them all advance on each other. There's just a few crossbowmen left. Down goes the last repeating crossbowman, and it's just this guy. And yeah, they lost that by a lot. Look at how few Persian casualties there are on the main front line here. I've no idea why. Why did they lose so quickly? Why? They had equal amount of frontline troops here, and they also had all of the crossbows. But look at how many of them there are left. There's still some Egyptian troops. You've obviously got all of the Egyptian archers who are heading forwards. We've still got some Egyptian spear infantry. We've still got some mercenary hoplites. Still got a bunch of these guys as well. The actual spearmen. We've also got a considerable amount of immortals as well. The shock troops barely did anything for the Han, which I've no idea why. Why did they lose so badly? They had the Dao infantry, they had spear infantry, they had basically everything the Persians had, but the Persians just completely wiped the floor with them. Why? This is all of these guys dead over here. They did, of course, manage to kill off some of these axemen, which was nice at the beginning of the battle. But yeah, they just completely fell apart against the Persian assault for whatever reason. No idea why. Maybe if they stay in formation, I don't know. Yeah, I'll try this again. I'll change up what the Han have compared to what the Persians have. They also had pretty much the same sort of amount of troops as well. If we look here, 119 to 117. The Persians had an extra 1,000 cost over them, but yeah, don't know why that happened. I'll see if I can't do anything to help out the Chinese cause here. Right, so what I've done here for the Han is I've given them just more units, basically. But that's not all. So I've extended their shield wall here. I've given them more polearm troops, so they've got more spearmen. But what I've also done is I have given them banner troops, so that they stay in position, so that they keep their shield formation. But I've also given them halberd troops, because when I had them with their with their last video against the Roman Empire, when I ran it again, giving them more units, I gave them halberd troops, and halberd troops seem to do a lot of good against the Roman force. So I'm hoping they'll achieve similar success against the Persians here. I've also moved back the crossbow troops, and I've given them a little shield wall here with some more halberd troops against the Persian force there. And what I've also done is, I never thought I would have this much trouble against the Egyptian troops, if I'm perfectly honest, in any of these battles. But instead what I've done is I have extended their wall forwards. I've given them shield bearers, and I've also given them some halberds over this side, as well as a bannerman as well. I've also given them some repeating crossbows here and a couple more crossbowmen to cover their extended flank. But hopefully, now that they outnumber the Persians by about 50 troops, hopefully they'll not lose this time to the Persians, and we can get a 1-all battle. If the Persians somehow manage to pull this out, yeah, no idea how, but hey, we'll have to see. So, in they go. Obviously the Persians are going to advance, as well as the Egyptians. They're all going to charge forwards. Over here, in go the crossbows. Obviously, most of them are going to get blocked by the axemen. Looks like one axeman did fall there out of the main Persian front. In goes the eastern archers though, firing in, hitting the shield wall. Obviously the shield wall going to take all of that hit. Very good. Obviously a few axemen have also died on this flank as well. The Han are staying put, as you'd hope, now that they have banners to stop them. And in go the axemen. Now out will charge the Han, because obviously their spears will advance, and oh yes, they definitely dealt with that a lot better than before. Obviously there's now just going to be loads of pointy sticks pointing at everyone, but on this flank though, yeah, they're really clearing up the Egyptian and mercenary forces a lot better than before. Very good. And then on this flank, well, on that flank rather I should say, yeah, they're going to be able to clear up the axemen rather nicely. And then over here, yeah, the Persians are definitely not doing as well. Whilst they are managing to get through some of the shield wall, yeah, for the most part, ooh, down goes 2 of them though. Down goes 2 Han troops there. But for the most part, hopefully the Han will be able to get involved a lot easier. In go the Immortals. The Immortals dodging an attack there, sidelining a whole load of their own troops. Oh, an Immortal just got hit hard by a Dao. Ooh, very nice. The vicious Dao. In he goes again. He's got like 3 Daos going for this Immortal, and the Immortal actually managed to dodge an upper thrust with his spear. Very nice. In goes some Eastern Archers. Oh, manages to take out one of the Dao-wielding troops. Very good. It looks like actually the halberds have not done as well against these axemen. They're managing to, the axemen are actually managing to dodge out of the way of most of these halberd troops. Looks like we've still got a couple of the shield men left up, but yeah, ooh, an axeman there is going to get peppered full of shots if he's not careful. The main Han line though, it's sort of holding, but there's still quite a few dead Han troops here. The banners, I'm not too sure how useful the banners are. Looks like on this flank though, yeah, they're easily clearing them up. They're just a few swordsmen, able to clear up the last remaining, hopefully, mercenary archer. Not mercenary archer, mercenary hoplite. But the main flank over this side, you've still got an Immortal left over here, manages to clear up one of the 2 Immortals rather, manages to clear out one of the shield bearers. Oh, down goes a halberd to the Eastern Archers. These Eastern Archers are the things that are taking their toll on the Han, really. They managed to kill off one of the shock troops, and 2 Immortals are actually coming in and dealing with some of the archers at the back, some of the crossbowmen. Over here, yeah, the Persians have managed to push all the way through. Managed to really deal with this rear line. Actually, they're really attacking those crossbowmen over here. Even with the shield wall and the halberds, I really expected them to actually do more to stem this. But there's 2 I should say, axemen have actually managed to get into the rear lines, and this one's just sort of stuck. He's managed to clear out one of the shield bearers. It looks like the few remaining Persian troops are actually... Oh, down goes one of the standard bearers. The last few Persian troops are well, at least attempting to deal with the shock troops, as one shock troop does go down, but the other one manages to kill one of the well, he did manage to kill one of the spearmen, but he then got shot by an arrow and down he goes. The Immortal gets dealt with very nicely by a couple of crossbow bolts and a nice sword cut from a shock troop, but another shock troop does go down to an Eastern Archer, which is not all too good. Looks like the standard bearer over here has finally died, which allows the swordsman to get involved, but with the amount of crossbow fire that's going in against these Egyptian archers, it looks like there's only a couple of them left. Oof. Archer shot misses all of the Han troops very nicely. Over here, though, situation is a bit dicey. The last remaining looks like, the last remaining standard bearer has fallen for the Han. But over here, oh my god, these guys are really chasing these crossbowmen at the back. They really do not like these crossbowmen. These axemen are really going for it. There is only one shock trooper left, though, out of the entire Han force that was over here. One shock trooper is all that remains, and he's going to get shot by arrows before he even manages to get anywhere close to these guys, I think. It's really down to the crossbowmen, and the crossbowmen do not have the rate of fire over the Eastern Archers, which is not great. Hopefully, though, now that the Egyptian archers have been dealt with on this flank, hopefully the swordsmen can actually get over here. But it looks like some of the Eastern Archers are actually turning their attention to them. Down goes one of the repeating crossbowmen. Over here, the two halberds are trying to chase down these two rogue axemen, plus the one remaining crossbowman that's left over here. Down goes another crossbowman to an Eastern Archer shot. It looks like they're all actually getting distracted by these two, which is not great. That's not what they want. They really want to try and shoot at the Eastern Archers, who are currently standing there unopposed, really. One of the repeating crossbowmen have actually reloaded. He's actually stayed alive currently. These swordsmen are very lucky that so many of these arrows are getting trapped by their shields. In goes the repeating crossbowman. Now's the chance. With his long reload, we've got to see if he can actually manage to kill off a couple of these guys. Yep, manages to kill one. Can he get another one? Nope. Nope. Looks like they're all going in the same position, which is not all too great, and he's out, I think. That was his entire contribution. He managed to kill one of them. The swordsmen. That one just dodged right over the lip of the shield, managed to kill him off, but they're now actually getting into the rear lines. They're managing to deal with, well, hopefully going to start managing to deal with these Eastern Archers. Down goes another swordman, though. We've only got 5 swordmen left actually advancing, plus... Oh, no, shock troop's dead. I was going to say plus a shock troop, but nope, he's dead. Over here, it looks like the two halberds did manage to take out the 2 rogue axemen that were left over here, which means that all of the crossbowmen can now finally turn their attention to the Eastern Archers, which is all that remains of the Persian force. And amazingly, they all missed. Look at how many... Look at all of these. All of these crossbow bolts, which completely missed the exposed row of Persian archers. I mean, this swordman is very lucky he's still alive. There's only three swordmen left. Finally, another archer goes down. Another 2 archers have gone down. As in goes and peppers into that guy's shield. Nope, they completely missed with that shot. All of these crossbowmen are completely failing at their jobs right now. Can they... Finally, they managed to hit that guy right in the neck, which is good. And the swordmen are advancing. Yep, there's still... these 2 are still alive, plus this one coming in from behind them. Down goes one of the swordmen, though. There's only 2 of them left. Can these guys do it? That's the question. In goes the crossbow bolt. Nope, completely misses. That one also completely misses. Yeah, these are repeating crossbow bolts. Finally, they managed to take out one of them. So there's another dead one, another dead Persian archer. How didn't that hit him? How did that not hit that swordman? He's very lucky that it didn't, but no idea how. These guys are quite literally the last remaining hand-to-hand troops of the Han Empire on this battlefield. And I've no idea how that one was blocked. By all rights, that probably should have killed him. Look at how close that is to his hand. How close that arrow is. It's literally in his arm. But the game goes, no, that is actually in his shield. It's just 5 archers left. You cut one down, advance on the others. There's 4 crossbowmen left. Or 4 archers left, rather. Oh, and in comes the rain of horribly inaccurate crossbows. And that one also misses. That one manages to kill him very nicely. There's only 3 archers left. Are these halberds going to be able to get in time? Nope. This Han swordman just got shot by his own team. You see, the crossbows are only accurate against their own team, because that's probably one of the few accurate shots that these guys have made, and it hit their own swordman. Finally, they managed to hit one of the archers. The 2 swordmen take out another one, hopefully. Or as that one narrowly misses killing a teammate. Oh, that one hits a shield, just about. That one also hits a shield. Oh god, that one also hits a shield. And they both swing, they both miss, and yeah, they don't manage to kill the crossbow, the archer. In comes a halberd though, from the side, bringing it down. Oh, very nice. Kills him off, and finally the swordmen take out the final archer. That was not great. I have to admit, Han Empire, you disappoint me in this. You disappoint me in this battle. Yeah, that was far too close than it had any reason to be. There was no reason that should have been as close as it was. The Han Empire had the numerically superior amount of troops. They had exactly the same formation as the Persians, but for some reason they just completely fell apart fighting the Persians. How? How did they easily stand up against Rome, but they completely and utterly fail when it comes to Persia? Maybe this is why the Han Empire never made contact properly with the Roman Empire. They just couldn't get through Persia because the Persians were just too good. They were too good at taking them out. I mean, look at all these Dao troops. I mean, the men with the Daos really were able to hit hard when they hit, but they just died. They just sort of died against, like, well, the Persians. I mean, there's quite a few Persian spearmen here, but look at all the shield bearers as well. I mean, granted, the shield bearers don't actually have a weapon other than shield mashing, which probably also didn't help, but they're big old shields. They took the first few volleys of Eastern archer shots quite easily, whereas the crossbows actually did a little bit against the front Persian lines. But even so, there's a lot of dead shock troops in here. There was like no shock troops left at the end of this melee. I mean, there was one survivor by the time these guys had all died, and it was just the archers left. But then he got cut down. Same with this guy. He got cut down. He was quite literally the last remaining shock troop for the Han. And then all of the swordsmen, yeah, bar these 2, which are very lucky they didn't die to friendly crossbowmen, even though this guy did get shot in the arm. Yeah, the Persians just were good at dealing with these guys. They were just good at dealing with the Han Empire, apparently. Crossbowmen were horribly inaccurate against the Persian lines here for whatever reason. The Persian archers were far more accurate against these crossbowmen than these crossbowmen were against them. Granted, though, the crossbow does have more killing power, I think, over the bow, but even so, there's quite a few dead Han troops over this side, but they did actually they did actually manage to take out the Egyptians and their mercenary hoplites this time, which is an improvement over last time. The Immortals were pretty good for the Persians. They did take a whole load of troops over here, although some of them did get taken out very nicely by those vicious Dows, which is nice to see. The Halberds as well didn't actually do all too great. I was fully expecting them to be the things to win this quite easily for the Han, but quite clearly not. Quite clearly not. Yeah, in a total war scenario, this would be seen as probably a Pyrrhic victory because, yeah, the Han had the numerical advantage, they had the crossbows, they had the cost advantage over anything the Persians had. They just completely and utterly, well, nearly failed. They quite nearly failed. I reckon if the remaining archers hadn't been dealt with by the swordsmen and the two halberds that came up against them, they could have quite easily lost this battle, even to those few remaining Eastern archers. But yeah, there you go. That was what if the Han Dynasty went to war with the Persians. So yeah, I'll thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.